Hallo meine Herzen! Heute gehen wir ins Geschäft. Aber nicht in ein gewöhnliches Geschäft. Heute gehen wir in ein Geschirrgeschäft. But first, what exactly does Geschäft mean? Today, das Geschäft usually means a shop, a store, or a business. But hundreds of years ago, it meant something quite different. Originally, das Geschäft was connected with work, activity, and getting things done. It comes from an old verb related to schaffen, to create, to do, or to accomplish something. And schaffen is still a very common German verb today. For example, ich schaffe meine Arbeit bis Freitag. I'll finish my work by Friday. Or wir schaffen das, we can do it, we'll manage it. Over time, the meaning of Geschäft changed. First, it referred to a task or an occupation. Later, it became associated with trade and commerce. And eventually, it came to mean the place where buying and selling happens, a shop. But there is another interesting question: why is it das Geschäft? The answer is hidden in the little prefix ge. In older German, the prefix ge was often used to create neuter nouns that describe the result of an action. For example, sprechen, to speak, das Gespräch, a conversation, what's spoken. Backen, to bake, das Gebäck, baked goods, what has been baked. Schaffen, to accomplish, das Geschäft, originally something that has been accomplished or dealt with. Many such gen nouns became neuter, that's why das Geschäft belongs to the neuter gender. Was für ein schickes Mädchen! Und sie sagt, ich kaufe ein Geschenk im Geschirrgeschäft. Aber was ist das Geschenk eigentlich? The word Geschenk comes from the German verb schenken, to give someone a gift. But the story is even older. The verb schenken originally didn't mean to give a present. It meant to pour a drink or to serve wine. Imagine a host filling a guest cup at a feast. Over time, this act of generosity became associated with giving something freely to another person. Little by little, schenken developed its modern meaning, to give a gift. And from this verb, German created the noun Geschenk. But why is it das Geschenk? The answer is the same little prefix we have already seen, ge. A Geschenk is something that has been given, the result of an action. Many old German nouns of this type became neuter, that's why we say das Geschenk. Als Geschenk für meine Mutter möchte ich schönes Geschirr kaufen. Aber Moment mal, was ist eigentlich Geschirr? Today, das Geschirr means dishes, tableware, plates, cups, bowls, and other things we use on the table. But hundreds of years ago, Geschirr meant equipment, tools, or a collection of useful objects needed for a particular task. In fact, German still uses the word Geschirr in another sense today. Das Pferdegeschirr, horse harness. A harness is not one object. It's a whole set of straps, buckles, and pieces working together. And that's the key to understanding the gender. The prefix ge often creates collective nouns in German, words that describe a group of things as one unit. Think about das Gepäck, not one bag, but all your luggage together. Das Gebirge, not one mountain, but an entire mountain range. Das Geschirr, not one plate, but all the dishes and tableware as a set. Over time, the meaning of Geschirr became narrower. Instead of tools and equipment in general, it started to refer specifically to household utensils and tableware. Schaut mal, in dieser schönen Vase liegt Gemüse. Aber was ist eigentlich Gemüse? The word Gemüse has a fascinating history. It comes from an old German word Mus. Today, das Mus means a fruit puree or a soft mash. But in the Middle Ages, Mus was one of the most common foods people ate. Vegetables were usually not eaten raw. They were cooked for a long time until they became soft and turned into a kind of mash. Over time, Germans began to use this word Gemüse for the plants that were cooked into this mousse. The prefix ge gives the word a collective meaning. Gemüse doesn't describe one vegetable, it describes vegetables as a group. And because collective nouns with ge are usually neuter, German says das Gemüse. So eine schöne Obstschale möchte ich auch haben. Aber was ist eigentlich Obst? Unlike many of the other words we have seen today, Obst doesn't contain the prefix ge. Its story is much older. The word comes from the Old High German word Obst. Long ago it referred to the produce of the land, the fruits, berries, and nuts that people harvested. Over time the meaning became narrower, and today das Obst simply means fruit. But one thing never changed. It was neuter in Old High German, and is still neuter today, das Obst. Und damit endet unser kleiner Besuch im Geschirrgeschäft. Heute haben wir nicht nur Geschirr, Gemüse und Obst gesehen. Wir haben auch entdeckt, warum so viele dieser Wörter Neutrum sind. Willkommen in der Welt des deutschen Neutrums. Der Welt von das Geschäft, das Geschenk, das Geschirr, das Gemüse und das Obst. Bis zum nächsten Mal, meine Herzen.